Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. This is the post-fight review for the Nick Webb and Erik Pfeifer fight, which was on the Alexander Povetkin and Whyte undercard in Gibraltar. So this was a statement win for Nick Webb, who hands Erik Pfeifer his first career loss. And it really was a dominating display by Webb, who came out strong. So we'll go through the action first and then to his comments and then a few thoughts, because now after this impressive win, he is, I would say, completely rebuilt and looking for his next big opportunity. And he took the opportunity here, coming out strong in round one. He was snapping Erik Pfeifer's head back. He is the taller man by a couple of inches, had a couple of inches of reach on Pfeifer as well, and he used that to full advantage. Pfeifer really unable to make a sort of dent in closing the distance, and you could tell that some of these jabs, which were snapping Pfeifer's head back, and also right hands that were landing, they were having an effect. And there was one or two you sort of thought, oh, Pfeifer doesn't really like this. How's this going to go? Webb, though, he was coming out strong, and you thought, can he maintain this if it goes any length of time? But ultimately, that sort of became moot, because Webb, strong finish to round one. He lands a good shot, and Pfeifer certainly was shaken up. And he just continued that into round two. Webb landing a big right hand early in the round, and it didn't even land completely clean. Part of it came off the gloves before impacting on Pfeifer, but it was enough to really buckle those legs. And you sort of thought, okay, this is probably going to get a little bit dicey here for Pfeifer, and so it was. Moments later, he was dropped by sort of a cuffing left hand that didn't really even have, full effect or land clean or anything like that, but he was shaken up from the right hand before. Hits the canvas, and it was pretty much all over from there. Down twice more shots, some of them not really landing clean, but he was hurt and just couldn't recover. After the third knockdown, the ref had seen enough. So this was a case where Nick Webb and Erik Pfeifer, they came onto this bill late. It was a case we didn't know how good Erik Pfeifer was, and where was Nick Webb at? We knew he'd taken some losses earlier in his career, knockout losses too, and he was on the rebuild. He'd taken this fight at short notice, and he ended up taking the opportunity. Pfeifer takes his first loss, and clearly there were some issues there with punch resistance. So it's an interesting question about the what next for Pfeifer, because he's now being managed by Whyte, but not a very good effort here. He was pretty much beaten from pillar to post, ultimately taken out and stopped in the second round. After the fight, so Nick Webb, he had a few thoughts about this win. He said he felt like he was on top of the world, that his game plan was to start fast, get him out of there, and you don't get paid for overtime. And he had noticed that he had hurt him early, and he certainly confirmed that when Pfeifer was grabbing on in that first round. He thought, okay, he doesn't like this. And he did feel through this win and the manner of the win that he'd made a statement, and that he came here to make a statement. And he said, just don't doubt me anymore, that he always believed in himself and that he will not be denied. And his trainer, Scott Welch, he said that Webb is now learning to believe in himself, and that they believe the sort of next thing for Nick Webb could be one or two, not tune-ups, but just a slightly lower level opposition fights, just to get a bit more activity in, because Webb has been out since 2019. They want to get him active, tick him over, and then after a fight or two, step him back up. So the interesting question now is, who's he going to fight? Because he's operating at that sort of English level, maybe even a little bit higher than that, towards British level. Is it possible that he could end up having a challenge for the British title? He has been in the conversation before for English and British title shots, and he could be so again after this performance. But Nick Webb, I guess we have to say, pretty much fully rebuilt. Looked pretty good in there. And he looked pretty good in the Ultimate Boxer in 2019, but it just really hasn't had the rounds and activity since. But he took this opportunity with both hands, and yeah, I want to see him again. I mean, I think he is one of these guys that we know potentially those whiskers, if you can really clock him, he can go down, he can be hurt, he can be taken out. But on the other side of the coin, he's a very fan-friendly fighter, and as we saw against the Dave Allen a few years ago, he was really sort of putting it on Allen before he was stopped. In here against Pfeifer, really putting it on him, and it is a sort of style that fans do want to see. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. _squared. I'm out.